Me and my classmates went to East London to visit David Austen and to see his work in his studio.
My drawings, my watercolour drawings, and most of them tend to be of figures, figures in a void, if you like. They probably take me about 20 seconds to draw.
Is there a particular technique you use that makes it different from, say, another artist and how they would make the exact same picture?
First of all, the secret to making watercolours is a good jam jar. And I spend a lot of time looking for the perfect jam jar. It helps me enormously to have a very large, clear tabletop, so I generally would clear everything out of the way. And so I'm left with just the block of paper, my drawing board, and I make my watercolours up in bowls. I make up, a large amount of the watercolour itself, and then you feel incredibly free with it. I make the watercolours flat, usually standing up as well, like this. I think it's quite important to stand when you're making work. There's something less inhibiting about it, and and you're using your own weight and gravity, but I usually have the paper flat. What it comes to is that when you load your brush up with something like when you've already made it in a bowl and it's very liquid, it's very heavy in the brush itself. And that's important for me because I tend to make my drawings with just a few loads of that watercolour, and then I push it around. When you see water, if it drips on the table, you see how it bubbles up with the water tension? I use that as well as part of how I manipulate the water colour on the paper.
What thought process do you go through?
I tend to empty my head, and then I picture the figure that I'm going to draw, going to create, and then I freeze it, literally, almost like a stop frame, on a film, and then I try to create it. Watercolour is great like that because it's the fastest of the mediums. It goes at the speed of thought. I think that's done. Probably more like a minute. I will then spend the day making drawing after drawing, and I will fill the table up. In the end, the table will be completely filled with drawings. And then I would let those drawings dry, and then I put them away at the end of the day, and I would normally get them out again a few weeks later, and then I destroy over half of them. I would go through them and select the ones I wish to keep. So watercolour is a brutal business.
At first, I thought his work was quite easy to do, quite simplistic, but then when he actually told me to have a go, I found that it was quite hard. His level of accuracy was quite high, and I couldn't imitate what he could do on the paper. So I think that his work is quite good, since it takes a lot of skill and practice to be able to achieve. David Austen thought it was all right, and we said that he might keep it.
Okay, we went to visit the artist David Austen, and basically his space was had loads of things in it, but it was very tidy. So
me and my classmates are teaching a workshop to the class demonstrating David Austen's techniques.
He drew lots of people, but they were kind of weird and not humanoid, sort of. He just kind of draw them lonely figures, and it did it in the moment. So if he kind of stopped, then he would stop permanently.
We're going to get the students to try and imitate what he did, draw figures on plain paper, and try to do it as quick as possible. Some of them got the hang of it, but some of them found it quite difficult. But I can understand that, since it was quite hard to get the accuracy.
Work quickly and don't go over something again, just let the colours flow. So don't try and make it all one shade of colour.
Watercolour makes his work quicker, but at the same time, it's quite hard to control. So it takes skill to be able to make the hands look normal, make the face look normal, and make the legs look normal. You have to build up the skill over a number of years to be able to create a perfect watercolor piece.